That Berserk greatness. I just finished this. And this is my raw thoughts. Zod just manhandled the black dog. Wold, I think his name is. Like he was nothing. He puts his, horns through his stomach and literally rips him in half. Guts was fighting this entire volume. Volume 10, Guts was fighting this dude. And Zod just comes in and fucks him up in, under less than a couple pages. I don't know how to react. I honestly, I don't fucking know how to react. The artwork was on an entirely different level. The artwork has improved really, really far compared to the first volume. The artwork in this volume, the fights, the way the fights looked, what happened, that reveal of Griffith's body, getting to see the effects on his body. Oh my god, when you see the black dog just hold up Griffith, and you see his body just dangling there, and you see his ribs, you see his, sunken in skinny self, you see how he has, no muscle mass, he has his skin flayed off, you see his ribs, you see his bones, you see, muscles under, whatever's left of his muscles underneath the skin that's ripped off, you see how his leg and tendons have been cut, you see how his feet look butchered, his arms look butchered. It reveals the pain and torture Griffith went through the entire year. I knew Griffith got tortured last volume, I talked about it, but to see the effects of what his body really looks like is on an entirely different level. The torture, honestly, it looks 1,000 times worse, even more than that compared to what, like I said, last volume Kaneki went through in 10 days. To see what he went through, just that, the picture alone, the image tells 1,000 words. That one panel tells 1,000 words about what I could probably describe about Griffith and what pain, torture, malice, and vengeance he feels. And all his ambition was lost. It is clear that all his ambition has been crushed, it's been lost, he no longer has any hope as a human being. He can't wield a sword, he can't walk by himself, he can't even speak. So any potential he had as a human being since the very beginning is gone. It just, at a blink of an eye, in 1 year's time, it's gone. I mean, if he wanted to have a kingdom, he can no longer have it. He doesn't even have his dick anymore. It's been chopped off too. I forgot to mention that last volume review. So he can't have children, which you need to have if you want to become a king or something of a kingdom, which that's his dream he wants. He can't wield a sword as a king possibly could. He can't walk. And kings in those old days, medieval days, needed to be able to walk straight to hold their swords. And there's so many other things. I mean, he can't even dress and put his own armor on. And that is one of the biggest disgraces as a knight could probably have. And to see that was really depressing. And as I said last volume, I understand now why he most likely will go evil. I understand why he went and turned to a god hand, and why he probably blames Guts for what happened to him, because like I said, if it wasn't technically for Guts walking out, even though Guts was his own man and he did what he thought was right, if it wasn't for Guts walking out, Griffith would not be in the state he was. And it's really, really sad. It's so sad for what one event can happen can cause all these chain of events in this Golden Age arc. I can't believe how much Guts truly meant to Griffith for Griffith to have that done to him. It is so unbelievable. It is so unbelievable. And to see Guts fight this monster solo. We thought that the 100-man in the forest, Guts fighting 100 people by himself, 100 humans, was fucking ridiculous. No. This is on an entirely different level. I mean, when you see Guts fighting this creature, the black dog, by himself before he transforms, it's ridiculous. You see them running through plains, you see them running through forests, you see them running across bridges, everything's just going down, and you see sword fights, all that. That's majority of this volume is pretty much action, fighting, blood, violence, and some nudity. Speaking of nudity, what the Black Dog did to Casca in this volume, I was like, what the living fuck? He was literally about to, like, rape Casca, the Black Dog was, and I'm like, no, Guts is not gonna handle this, he's going to chop that dick off, and guess what? He chopped that dick off, exactly what I thought he would have done, so, good job, Guts, right there. But the thing is that this shows you how strong demons are, and it puts Zod on an entirely different pedestal. I saw a couple of Chibi say Zod's a lot stronger than he appears. And honestly, it's amazing how Zod was able to actually take damage from Guts. How Guts was able to damage Zod in the past. That is ridiculous, because Guts was having a problem with this demon here, this Black Dog. And he, at the very least, managed to damage a little bit of Zod. And Zod just rips and manhandles this demon, like, in half, like nothing. Like, there was no challenge. He just come in there and he's like, fuck you. That's pretty much what happened. And you gotta love the correlations and, you know, the foreshadowing of the first parts of the first 3 volumes of Berserk. Like, the entire tactic, when you see Guts hiding behind a tree, uses a corpse and puts it behind a tree, that reminded me of the Count fight. You remember when Guts used the Count's, like, advisor or whatever, and he put the advisor behind the stone pillar, when you had the Count crush the pillar and kill his own advisor, and then Guts popped out and sliced at the Count? Well, that's pretty much what Guts did in this volume 2. He did the exact same tactic, and we get to see when the first time he actually used this tactic against a demon. Sad thing is, it didn't work as just as planned. For instance, his sword snaps, Guts gets slung through freaking trees and branches, slammed up against rocks and stones. Looks like every bone in his body is fucking crushed, and he still stands up. He does not go down. And that is just amazing. I want to say something. When I was reading this volume and I saw Guts just getting slung through branches and stuff, I was like, if that was a fodder character, or if that was an unimportant character or something, or a regular battlefield soldier, they would have been snapped in half and we would have saw their heads split off or whatever. That exactly is what would have happened if that was not Guts. And so, at the very least, Guts has some form of resilience. He doesn't go down like that, but I mean, if that would have been a fodder character, they would have been fucked. They would have been so fucked. But Guts is definitely went up in a higher level badassery in my eyes, because he did it legitly. It wasn't like no bullshit power-up. It was nothing like that. It was just brains, guts, tactics, quick thinking, and I guess just survivability. And, the Skeleton Knight said about like a volume or 2 ago, he stated, since you were born from your mother, a corpse, in the mud, you were already so close to death that you can escape death easier. And since technically he's so close to death, he can escape it easier. And that actually, I wanted to mention that. With this volume, death is going to come for Guts. Something. And then Guts specifically thought in this volume that the Black Dog was the death that Zod foreshadowed a long time ago. And supposedly what the Skeleton Knight, I didn't think about at the time, but like I said, when I was reading this volume, I realized it. Since technically death is coming for Guts in the future, most likely it's something to do with Griffith and the eclipse, Guts is able to escape it since he's just so close to death. That definitely, that line is going to have a lot more meaning later on, definitely. But we get to see the glimpse of hell itself once again in this volume. And I didn't like looking at that, I want to be honest. When I first read that in, like, Volume 3, it fucking scared the shit out of me, because the artwork of the Tower of Corpses just dragging people into hell, that is the creepiest fucking thing one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in manga, in history. One of the creepiest fucking things, because the way the art looks, and like I said, you can feel malice off of it, is just so creepy. Like, when you see the corpse of the Black Dog just drug into this vortex, and you know it's hell since we read the first 3 volumes, it is so disturbing. It is so fucking disturbing. So what we do find out, is that it looks like majority of demons were once humans. The Count was a regular human at first, and he turned into a demon eventually. And with this, we found out that the Black Dog was once a human, a shriveled up old man. And so, it looks like when a demon dies, when they get drugged down into hell itself, their corpse is left behind. Their human corpse. Not their demon corpse, but their human corpse. So, a lot of questions right now. Is all demons like this? Are all demons born from, I guess, they were human-born? Turned into demons? What was the first demon? Was it the God Hand? That's the big question I have. And it's so amazing how this series is just getting so fucking epic. Like, I just can't believe the symbolism that's used in each passing panel I see with, like, you know, the Manticore Zod, or getting to see the different correlations between earlier chapters and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, the level of writing in this. And honestly, I have this on a pedestal as high as almost Hunter x Hunter in my eyes already, because this is really great. Such a great series. There's nothing I dislike about this. Nothing at all. The atmosphere and mood of this series is just too damn good. It is way too damn good. And I can see why I see a couple of Chibi say the anime or movies are not that good comparison, because it's not that the anime is so shitty that it sucks. It's because you could not replicate the emotions, mood, and feels from the panel into an anime. It's like some books or whatever cannot be made into a series. It can't. It's not possible. You can't replicate the emotions that the author puts in his work, and you definitely cannot do it for Berserk. An anime will not do justice for this series. And even though there is an anime, like I said, you cannot replicate this. You cannot. In an anime form, you cannot. There's nothing you can do. When I look at the art of this series, now I'm reading panel by panel, the artwork looks like it's coming out of the panel. Like, the artwork looks like it's going to jump out on you. Honestly, when I'm actually reading it, it looks like I'm watching an anime. No joke. When you see panel after panel, you look at it, you can actually vividly imagine, like, stuff going on in your mind like it's an actual anime. You can actually imagine the sound effects. That's actually what I think of when I'm reading Berserk, and that is just absolutely insane when you can actually have an imagination like that when you're reading Berserk. Not many books, series, manga, anime, or even regular movies can do that to someone. And when it can do that, it shows you how great the writer is to be able to drag you into their series. And that's just one thing. That's just the tip of the iceberg of this volume and Berserk in a whole. Now, one thing I do like, okay, is getting to see one thing, particularly in this thing. When you see the looks of Griffith. Griffith has these dark, evil, malicious looks in this entire volume, and he had it in the last volume. I noticed it, I didn't mention it much, but in this, I noticed that the mangaka, Kentaro, specifically made Griffith have a lot of these death stares. And that right there makes me wonder and question, like, if you leave Griffith and Guts alone, what is going to happen? Because they were alone at one time in, you know, this chapter, this volume. I wonder what Griffith would have done if he was given enough time alone with Guts. Like, what if Guts would have went to sleep? I mean, would Griffith try to kill him? Because technically, I don't know truthfully how Griffith feels at this moment about Guts. I know he has some form of hatred, of course, but I mean, I wonder what he truly feels. Like, if he had all of his stuff back, his will back, for instance, if he could, like, at the very least maneuver a sword, could he kill Guts, or would he try to kill Guts? But you can get another thing from this volume. When you saw Griffith looking at Guts, when you saw Guts fighting the Black Dog, it looked like Griffith wanted to help out Guts. Like, he was purposely wanting to try to get up, grab his sword, and try to run over there to help Guts, or maybe try to kill Guts. I don't know. But it seems like he feels bad. You can definitely tell that he has depression over not being able to help out. He probably feels very useless. And he definitely knows now about the God Hand. The reason why I say this is because in the last volume, which I kind of forgot to mention a little bit, that he saw these demonic creatures coming out of the brick wall. And it's like, oh, my prince, these demon-looking creatures were sent my prince. And so he must know something about the God Hand. And so I'm guessing it's not news to Griffith that the God Hand's probably going to be coming for him. He might already know what the eclipse is. He might already actually know what is going to happen. And that scares me. It fucking scares me. And for Zod to go out of his way to actually help out Griffith or the entire band of Hawks to save him, it just shows you how big of importance Griffith is. So, what's amazing is that it seems like the demons have some form of, like, order, like hierarchy. We see the God Hand. We know about the God Hand. But in this volume, we find out about these apostles. These apostles seem to be, like, certain specific demons, I'm guessing. It looks like Zod is an apostle underneath the God Hand. I don't know exactly if Zod is stronger than the God Hand, and I don't know exactly where the level of the Skeleton Knight is, because they seem to talk. It seems like, you know, Zod is going around talking to a bunch of demons. It looks like majority of all the demons know what's going on. Like, they know exactly what's going on with Griffith. They know there's another 5th God Hand coming in soon. So, exactly, why do these demons continue to hide in human form? Like, why would the Black Dog hide his true form with the king? Like, work underneath the king of Midland and become a prisoner and not transform. Like, he purposely didn't become his, you know, demonic form like he did. Why would he hide himself? It seems like there's something else going on here with the eclipse, because he says that, like, this is the festival. I noticed that a couple times in this volume, the Black Dog kept saying this was the festival. I guess we could have a little party before, you know, the eclipse or whatever. So, it seems like the demons are holding themselves back from actually revealing themselves. I've noticed that. There seems to be demons that are trying to hold themselves back from bloodlust or slaughter. And is there good demons? That's the big question, too. I mean, Zod seems to be a very okay demon. I mean, he was killing people and going to war after war to kill people, but does he have good intentions? That's the big question, too. Because if he didn't have good intentions, why would he help out Guts? Like, why would he specifically give a prophecy to Guts to warn him? Like, or why would the Skeleton Knight try to save Rickert last volume? See, there's a lot of questions that are not adding up here. Is there, like, different parties of demons? Like, since there's different hierarchies, we know they have intelligence, we know about the God Hand, is there another form of organization of the demons that might be on the good side or something? Because I highly doubt all demons are bad. I highly doubt it. I am almost about 100% certain that there, at the very least, there's some form of good demon in this series. So, we'll have to see. And if I had to rate this volume, honestly, throwing out my enjoyment factor, 10 out of 10. I'm throwing out my enjoyment factor. If I put in my enjoyment factor, I can't even rate it. It's too fucking good. It's too damn high. It's too damn high with its rating. Because it's hard enough holding myself back from just fangasming all over this volume. It is very, very hard. That is how much I've enjoyed reading this. And I've heard that the next volume and the volume after that is going to be a lot better. A lot better. I've heard some great things about it. I've been told to do a live reaction of Volume 13. Now, I don't know necessarily why. Don't spoil me, please. But, I mean, do you all want me to do a live reaction to Volume 13? That is the big question I'm asking right now. If you want me to do a live reaction to Volume 13, please let me know in the comments below, because I will probably just, you know, grab my volume like I normally do with my Berserk volumes, and I'll just read it. You know, do like I did with Tokyo Ghoul, pretty much. I'll do that exact same thing, and I'll record my live reaction, and then I'll upload it. Now, so, I guess this is going to conclude my thoughts. I'm going to probably have to think a couple days about this volume before I dive into Volume 12 of Berserk, because this shit, it's too damn good. It's way too good. It may not seem like I'm showing so much fucking excitement. Like I said, I am on that point and pinnacle of shock. Like, I'm at the shock level, where you're so fucking shocked, you just can't show so much emotions. That's literally where I'm at right now. So, tell me your thoughts about this volume. Should I live reaction Volume 12 or 13? And I love all of you so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.